There was another autobiography movie I'm not going to talk about because the makeup was terrible. You know what I'm talking about, but we're not going to talk about that movie. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Yellow, and we are here with a brand new trailer for Michael, the Michael Jackson autobiography. This is something that's been in the making for a long time. We knew he was going to get a movie about him. That's not the long-ass American dream about him and his brothers, the Jackson 5 and the entire Jackson family. There was another autobiography movie, and you know, those side Lifetime style, like tabloidy movies that we had before. I'm not going to talk about because the makeup was terrible. You know what I'm talking about, but we're not going to talk about that movie. This one is starring Jaafar Jackson, which is the nephew of Michael Jackson, who's going to be playing him. From what we've seen and heard, that like he's worked hard to make this movie happen and worked hard to make sure that he carries the legacy of his uncle very well. We will take a look at this and let's see what it's all about. It's by Universal Pictures, so they've done other autobiographical movies such as the Straight Outta Compton movie, which I enjoyed very well, but you know, we'll talk about that later. But we're gonna get into it. Let's see it. This is Michael.
You're confident, but of that, but you're strong.
The voice is kind of on point.
You're beautiful. The greatest of all time.
Wow.
Let me tell you something. In this life, you're either a winner or you're a loser. Y'all want to work in a steel mill like me for the rest of your days? I said, and because I sure as hell don't. Y'all willing to fight for us? Yes, sir. I need to hear you a little louder. Y'all willing to fight for us? Yes, sir.
Ready whenever you are, Michael.
You know what I'm after?
You want to be the biggest star in the world?
Yeah,
We need to capitalize on Michael's success because the Jackson family is the brand. That's a Coca-Cola. Then we need to start selling it. So I'm planning an international tour. This is just the beginning.
I need to think.
I told you what to think.
I love my family, but I just want to do my own thing. Just have all these ideas in my head. Just got to get them out.
Then do it, Michael. Not a little boy anymore.
Michael, I knew you were different the moment you were born. You have a very special mind. I believe in music. You can change the world. And cheese. I find strength, Lord. Joy. His peace. That is what I want the world to feel. Magic.
Wow. That was the trailer to Michael. Damn, I forgot Coleman Domingo is in this playing, you know, Dad Joe Jackson, Nia Long playing his mother. And they did the makeup pretty crazy because he looks pretty similar to that. The thing about, you know, we know about the story of the Jackson family. We know about his dad being very hard and pushy and, you know, also abusive on his sons, you know, his kids to be successful and getting them out there, and also very exploitive. So we knew about that story. We knew about all the other stuff too. And man, I can't get past the fact that his voice was pretty damn on point. I gotta watch his actual interviews to see what his real voice sounds like. You know, sometimes a lot of the Jacksons, they have such a similar soft tone voice as well that sometimes some of them sound like the other. You know what I did notice in this movie, you know, like of course it entails his entire story, what's going on. Like my biggest thing is the thing about autobiography movies, we don't want to just see like what we already know. We want to see what we don't know, because there's a lot of stories that we don't know that hasn't been told that we would like to hear and see, because that also shows us how, you know, why some people that we're watching, or, you know, some of the celebrities or whoever that they have done, or famous figures that they've done autobiography movies about, where, you know, we see why they are who they are and what things that happened to them that was traumatic in their lives that has caused them to become a certain way. You know, there's a lot of movies that do that, but you know, what's crazy is that there's a few autobiography movies that I've seen, known the story, known everything, but you know, they did such a terrible job at developing the person in the story to where it's like, we knew what their demise was at the end. And you know, that's sad. But when they portrayed it in the movie, it just wasn't sad because they didn't develop them enough for me to give a fuck about them as a character in the movie. And that's something that a lot of filmmakers tend to do. You know, I'm not going to mention the movie, but there's a movie where it's based off of an artist. They kept recreating the music videos that he's done already. But to me, it's like, why are you showing us this shit? We've seen this before, maybe a little speck of it, but you're showing us full music video, or at least chunks of music videos from this artist that we already know. And it's covering up the fact that you're trying to fill in shit that you can't tell us more stories about him that we don't know about, or maybe that you couldn't confirm it. But if you're gonna do that, don't even make the movie. And you know, watching this trailer, I see like they recreated some of the music videos that Michael Jackson was famous for, which is dope. But at the same time, I only want to see a little bit of that. I don't need to see the whole thing. I still want to see the story. I want to see him, what he's going through, what different elements in his life that we don't know about that will make us give a about Michael. Of course, we give a about Michael, but in a movie like this, you have to also draw us in to also give a at the end, because you know, there's always gonna be a Joe Schmo out there that's gonna go see this movie. Of course, everyone knows who Michael Jackson is, babies know who he is, but there's probably someone that doesn't really know about his life, or maybe didn't care for Michael Jackson, that's watching this movie. And you want to make sure that you tell the story to where it's so captivating, it draws them in to feel emotionally attached to that character. And you know, as I've said time and time in all my videos, the goal is to develop the character and develop everyone around him to where you see him as the person that you want to root for, and you hope for the best for that person. And you know, when anything happens to that person where it's detrimental to their storyline, it leads to a climactic point, we are along for that journey as well. Michael Jackson, he's someone that we've followed his entire career already, so seeing it come alive on film, we want to make sure that just how he was in real life, we want to be drawn the same way as him portrayed on screen. Yeah, Michael, it could be a hit or miss. Directed by Antoine Fuqua, who did Training Day, and with him, he did such a great job with Training Day, you know, and he's done plenty of other movies after that, so he's behind this project, and I do have faith in him. He knows what he's doing, but we'll see when it comes out. That is the trailer to Michael. What do you think about it? Are you ready for another autobiography movie? There's been a lot of autobiography movies that's came out, especially this past decade. Some hits, a lot of misses, but we hope that, you know, the king of pop, the biggest superstar in the world, we hope that they do a great job with this one. So what do you think? Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.